It's 11 p.m. You're on the couch scrolling Zillow, looking at the Philly suburbs. You type in Doylestown, $600,000 for a 3-bedroom. You try Lansdale, $500,000. Bluebell, $550,000, and it needs a new kitchen. You keep saving listings and none of them fit your budget. There's an entire county 10 minutes south of MontCo where the median home sells for $350,000 with better train access than all of these towns. You've probably been scrolling right past it. I'm Jim Stevenson, a realtor here in the Philadelphia suburbs, and if you've been searching Bucks and Montgomery County without looking at Delco, this video changes your search. So Delaware County, or Delco as everybody here calls it, sits right between Philadelphia and Chester County. Philadelphia has 4 collar counties. Those are the suburban counties that directly border the city: Bucks, Montgomery, Chester, and Delaware. Delco is the smallest of the 4 by land. Only 191 square miles, but almost 585,000 people live here. That makes it denser than Bucks, MontCo, and Chester put together on a per square mile basis. Now here's why buyers overlook it. Delco has always carried a reputation as the gritty, blue-collar part of the suburbs. If you watched Mayor of Easttown on HBO, that's Delco. And look, that reputation is earned in a few specific spots. Chester City, parts of Upper Darby, some of the riverfront communities closer to Philly. Those areas pull the county averages down, so when buyers Google Delaware County and see the stats, they see the average. They see the county-wide crime number, the county-wide income number, and they move on. That's a mistake, because the actual towns inside Delco tell a completely different story. The median home here sells for about $350,000. In Bucks County, that number is $500,000. Montgomery County, $450,000. Chester County, $556,000. We're talking a gap of $150,000 to $200,000 for the same metro area and the same access to Philadelphia. And here's what most buyers don't realize. Delco has better train access than any of those counties. The Media Wawa Regional Rail line runs through the center of the county. The Wilmington-Newark line serves the eastern side. 2 trolley lines connect to the Market Frankfurt L, and there's a direct SEPTA rail line to the airport. The airport sits right on Delco's border. Part of it is actually in Delaware County. From most Delco towns, you're 10 to 20 minutes from your terminal. Try that from Doylestown and you're over an hour. What that means is you can live in a town like Media or Swarthmore, pay $150,000 less for your home than you would in Doylestown or Bluebell, and actually have a shorter commute to Center City. And that's the part people miss when they skip Delco. This is the comparison I walk buyers through when they're trying to figure out which part of the suburbs actually fits their budget and their life. All right, so those are the county level numbers, but Delco is 49 separate municipalities, and the difference between one town and the next is enormous. Your taxes, your schools, your walkability, your commute options, all of it changes based on which side of the town line you land on. I call this the Millage Trap. The home price looks great on Zillow, then you find out the tax rate in one town is literally double the town next door, and your monthly payment jumps by $500. So let me walk you through the 6 towns buyers ask me about most. First, Media. Media is the county seat, and it's the town everybody falls for first. Walk score of 93. State Street is the main drag, lined with independent restaurants, coffee shops, performing arts theater, local boutiques. In the summer, they shut down the entire street every Wednesday night for outdoor dining. It's called dining under the stars. The kind of thing that makes people say, wait, this exists in the suburbs? But you pay for it. Based on actual closings over the last 3 months, the median sold price in Media is $615,000. But you can get in lower. A condo or smaller twin runs in the 300s. A solid 3-bedroom Cape Cod or Colonial, you're in the $450,000 to $550,000 range. Move-up homes push into the $700s and beyond. The good news is taxes. Media sits in the Rose Tree Media School District, rated A- on niche, and the total millage is only 22.5 mils. That's the lowest of any town I'm covering today. On a $500,000 home, your property taxes run about $7,500 a year. For walkability and schools at that level, that's a strong number. Next, Springfield. Springfield is your classic, well-established family suburb. The Springfield School District, rated A- on niche, big lots, brick colonials, and split levels on every block. You're probably thinking Springfield sounds a lot like the MontCo suburbs, just cheaper. And honestly, that's not far off. The neighborhoods feel familiar, the school ratings are strong, but here's what actually sets it apart: speed. Homes are flying here. Median days on market from recent closings is only 13 days. The median sold price is $475, with most homes falling between $400 and $565. Taxes are higher than media. Springfield's total millage is 31 mils. So on that $475,000 home, you're looking at about $8,200 a year. No walkable downtown, you need a car, but everything you need sits right along Baltimore Pike and Sproul Road, and a brand new Christiana Care Hospital is opening nearby in 2027. Now here's where the price drops. And this is the part that changes the math for a lot of people. Ridley Township. Ridley is blue-collar Delco, tight-knit and multi-generational, no pretense. The median sold price here is $290. A 3-bedroom colonial closed for $249 last month with annual taxes around $6,400. Run that math. On a $250,000 home with 20% down, your mortgage plus taxes is somewhere around $1,700 to $1,800 a month. That's a payment most households can handle on one income. You're on the Wilmington-Newark SEPTA line. Center City is about 25 minutes. And from the southern part of the township, the airport is a 10-minute drive. The millage is higher at 40 mils, but the home prices are low enough that your actual tax bill stays really manageable. Prospect Park, right next door, is even smaller, less than 1 square mile. Similar price range. A solid 3-bedroom here runs $265 to $350, and it has its own SEPTA station with one of the fastest commutes in the county. 20 to 25 minutes to Center City. Median annual taxes on a mid-range home run about $5,800. For a buyer on a fixed income who wants a train station and a low monthly payment, Prospect Park is one of the strongest values in the entire Philly suburbs. And when you start comparing those numbers to what the same buyer would pay in Bucks County or what they're paying right across the river in South Jersey, the gap gets hard to ignore. And if at any point during your research you want someone to run those numbers with you town by town, I'm happy to do that. You can book a call with me using the link in the description. No pressure, just help running your numbers and, figuring out the best areas for you to look. Or if you're still early and just want a starting point, grab my free Philadelphia Suburbs relocation guide using the QR code on screen. Now the upper end, Swarthmore. Swarthmore is Delco's prestige address, a college town built around Swarthmore College with tree-lined streets, stone colonials, and the Wallingford-Swarthmore School District ranked top 15 in the entire state. Prices here split wide open. You can find a smaller home or a condo starting around $300,000 to $450, but the single-family homes near the campus run $700,000 to well over $1 million. And they go fast. Median days on market from the last 3 months is 6 days. The trade-off is the tax rate. Total millage in Swarthmore is 40.2 mils. So on a $700,000 home, you're paying north of $14,000 a year. You're buying elite schools, the Scott Arboretum on the college campus open to the public year-round, and a quiet, intellectual neighborhood where 80% of residents hold a bachelor's degree or higher. And then there's Lansdowne. Lansdowne is the wild card. Lowest home prices on this list. Median sold price over the last 3 months is $243,000. Beautiful old Victorians and colonials with real architecture detail you can't find at that price anywhere else in the Philly suburbs. The fastest SEPTA commute to Center City of any town I'm covering, 15 to 20 minutes. And the art scene is picking up. The historic Lansdowne Theater just reopened as a 1,200-seat live music venue. The catch? Lansdowne has the highest millage rate on this list at 44.8 mils, and the William Penn School District has struggled academically and financially. So for families with school-age kids, that's a real factor in the decision. But for a retiree, a remote worker, or anyone who doesn't need the school district, that price to location ratio is extremely hard to beat anywhere in this region. Okay, so now you've seen the towns and the prices, but here's the part that actually decides whether Delco works for you, the stuff that doesn't show up on Zillow. Taxes are rising across the county. Delaware County just passed a 19% property tax increase at the county level for 2026. You're probably looking at the low home prices and thinking the taxes must be low too. That makes sense. Lower home value, lower tax bill, right? But here's what actually happens. Some of these towns have millage rates that are higher than anything you'd find in Bucks or MontCo. And the variation between towns is wild. Media's total millage is 22.5 mils. Lansdowne's is 44.8. On the exact same assessed value, your tax bill nearly doubles depending on which side of the town line you're on. That $350,000 home, in Media, your annual property tax is about $7,900. In Lansdowne, on that same assessed value, it's over $15,000. County averages tell you nothing. You have to model this specific town. Flooding. Darby Creek runs through several of these communities and it floods. In 2023, residents were evacuated, people were pulled from cars. If you're looking at anything near Darby Creek, Crum Creek, or really lower lying areas in Ridley, Prospect Park, Lansdowne, or parts of Springfield, check the FEMA flood maps before you write an offer. Flood insurance premiums will change your monthly payment and they'll definitely, affect your resale. Healthcare. This is the one most people don't see coming. Between 2022 and 2025, all 4 Crozier Health hospitals in the county closed. Private equity ownership, bankruptcy, the whole thing collapsed. That left 576,000 people relying on just 2 hospitals, Ridley in Media and Mercy Fitzgerald in Darby. It's getting better. Christiana Care is expanding fast out of Delaware, opening outpatient centers across Broomall, Havertown, Glen Mills, Media, and planning new micro hospitals in Aston and Springfield. Ridley is still there and it's nationally recognized, but right now, especially southern Delco near Ridley and Chester, the healthcare access gap is real and you should know about it before you buy. And the housing stock. Average home age in this county is 72 years. That means you're likely dealing with older plumbing, older electrical, roofing that's been patched more than once, and maybe basements that need waterproofing. So budget for it. I worked with a couple last year who'd been in Marlton, New Jersey for about 15 years. Both were retired, pension income, modest 401k. They were looking at Media because the wife wanted to walk to dinner without getting in the car. They found a 3-bedroom colonial listed at $540. Nice street, good condition. And I remember being on a Zoom call with them, sharing my screen with the tax comparison pulled up while the husband grabbed his phone and started punching in numbers on his calculator app. Their property taxes in Marlton were running about $11,500 a year. On the Media home, taxes came to about $7,100. That alone saved them $4,400 a year. Then we got to income tax. Pennsylvania fully exempts retirement income from state tax. Pensions, 401k withdrawals, Social Security, all of it. In New Jersey, they were paying state income tax on their pensions every year. When we added it all up, the total annual savings crossing the river came to roughly $7,000 to $8,000 every year. And they bought a nicer home in a more walkable town for less money. $7,000 to $8,000 a year. That's real money on a fixed income. One thing I told them, and I'll tell you the same thing, Pennsylvania charges a 4.5% inheritance tax on assets you leave to your kids. New Jersey doesn't. On a $500,000 estate, that's $22,500 your children pay. So there is a back-end cost, and it's worth talking to a tax professional about, but the day-to-day savings are really significant, and they compound every single year you live here. Now you know why Delaware County is the part of the Philly suburbs most buyers overlook, and why that's a mistake. But here's what most people moving from New Jersey don't realize. New Jersey just rolled out a program that cuts your property taxes in half once you hit 65. And it completely changes the math on whether Pennsylvania or New Jersey is actually cheaper for retirement. Watch this video next, because if you're planning this move in the next few years, getting the timing wrong could cost you 6 figures. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.